With the reprints of the Invoked engine coming out later this week, I figured it was about time I get to my deck profile of the Invoked Mecha Knights I've been playing the past few weeks over at Locals. I feel like this deck's very versatile. It can deal with a lot of matchups. Its hardest matchup is easily Draco and Goki. Goki going first, if they extra link you game 1, you basically have no response and you can't do anything. And going second against Draco, if they can set up a Monarch Erupt or a Skill Drain, it's very hard to deal with without going in the side deck. So this is my build of the deck for just before the reprints in Shadows of Valhalla. So for the main deck, we have 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. It's your starter card. It gets everything you need in terms of the Invocation engine. It's a free Macabre. I mean, that's never going to be not relevant. And this deck's ability to run many hand traps, all 9 in fact, of the big ones, in my opinion. I don't play Ash because I don't think it does enough, especially against in Sky Strikers. You can't really hit the engage. It's actually, in my opinion, Ghost Bell, the new one that's the Haunted Mansion, that stops the return off to hand off Kagari, is much more effective because it stops the effect to add the Hornet back to hand, which can lead to more plays. But in my opinion, Ogre is just better in that case because it just deals with the monster entirely. Because I believe they're hard ones per turn anyway, so it wouldn't be able to do anything if they got hit with the Ogre. Valor stops that play completely, and then Droll helps with your Goki matchup. If you are stuck going against Gokis, this is your best play, is just chaining to their Isolde to search, and then they just basically can't play. Hopefully. I've seen some few times where they can push through without the searches. For the Mecha Knights, I play 3 copies of blue, 3 copies of purple, 1 indigo, and 1 yellow. Yellow is for going second against Draco. If they establish something like a Imperial Order or Anti-Spell, this is a complete out to it. And these all search these, so there's no real reason to play multiples of these. The only thing I would think about taking out and putting in in terms of the Mecha Knights, I'd be cutting this to 2, and then putting in a red, just so I can have access to both this and a red. Because this searches your blues anyway. You'd rather open this than this, at least in my opinion. Plus, purple's bigger and red is bigger for helping with pushing for OTKs, which can be kind of big a deal in this deck, because this deck can actually push out some OTKs sometimes. 3 copies of Meltdown, 3 copies of Invocation, and 3 copies of Terraforming. You have to open these. You'd rather open the Terraforming instead of the Meltdown, and you don't want to hard draw the Invocation. The Invocation, I only play at 3 because Reincarnation is super huge. Banishing it off of Reincarnation is a big deal, and it's another card you can set instead of for setting up a Mech Knight. It helps to this isn't a blowout against if you get hit with Mind Crush if this gets hit, which can be huge because this deck doesn't have a way to banish the Alistair outside of the Invocation. So yeah. For the rest of the spells, I am playing 3 copies of Instant Fusion. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the deck. It sets up Thousand Eyes, which is a Link Rebo that also does removal and sets up a Mech Knight play in any column you need. It's on its own. It can be just removal, and it can also get to Ragin, which is a free Book of Moon, which can help get over weird things like Dynamite and just big things that are hard for Macabre to get over sometimes. For the draw spells, I played 2 copies of Desires, 1 Upstart Goblin, and then I played the whole spellbook package. I decided not to play Blue Boy because Blue Boy is a dead draw if you draw him mid-game, or early game, excuse me, because you'd rather have that early game normal summon on the Alistair to get the Invocation set up in Macabre. But in my opinion, I would probably play the Engages over this, at least because it's better mid-game and starting up early game, because you can get if the Shizuku, or not Shizuku, Kagari goes off and gets back the Hornet Drone, then you're guaranteed a Link 2, which can be huge when you're setting up with Alistair. And after we get the new set, I'd probably be playing those over the spellbooks. For the extra deck, I am playing 2 copies of Macabre, 1 copy of Purgatrio, 1 Region, and then 1 Thousand Eyes. These are your 2 instant fusion targets. This sets up your Mech Knight plays. Like I said, it's actually extremely good. I played what's called over Mind Control because yes, this can get striked, but if this resolves, it's so much better than just taking a dude and then linking away with it. I might start citing the Mind Controls after we get the Link monster, but as of now, I just prefer this. For the links, Borload, Trisbana for going in time, Unicorn, Phoenix, and Cerberus. These are the 3 links you make the most. If you set up with an Invocation and Alistair, you're guaranteed these. Underclock helps get over big things. Link Rebo comes with 1,000 eyes, and it's able to let the Phoenix and the Cerberus get their draw effect off while not having to use up all your links all at the same time. 1 copy of Buster, and these Isolde and Kugari. These are all Reaper targets, not real huge big deal. Like I said, I'm not playing the engages as of now, but after we get the new set, after we get the new support, I'll probably start playing the engages. 3 copies of Reaper in the side, 3 copies of Sphere Mode in the side. Helps with Goki. This is super versatile. It's just another hand trap, like, for example, like you're going against I don't know, Burning Abyss, and this is the only hand trap that really hurts Burning Abyss. Valor is kind of garbage. The only thing it stops is the tour guide, which is not even searchable. It's not even searchable until the end phase, so this is the Valor's basically dead. I did have a weird circumstance where in game 1 I was going against Burning Abyss, and my opponent summoned a Phoenix Rhino Warrior, and then while he was attempting to activate one of his things, I Valored the Rhino Warrior so it would just blow up, and so he wasn't able to set up a Dante, which was an interesting play, but not near as consistent enough as just getting rid of Dante or something later. Like, I'm not playing Dante right now, but I used to, but these are still here. 3 copies of Scapegoat, and 3 copies of Called by the Grave. You gotta play these, because if you're going second, game 1, and usually game 3 if you're not winning game 2, but game 2, your opponent's more likely to make you go first. Stopping Valor and setting up a Warlord next turn is just huge. This deck can spit out a bunch of links with the Mecha Knights, but they're kind of a minus because, like, you're not losing guard advantage, but you're losing field presence. In the Phoenix and the Cerberus don't really establish board presence. Like, they don't do anything on your opponent's turn, where at least purple can at least tag out and get you a dude next turn. Last but not least, 3 copies evenly matched. Now it's Draco. That's but the long and short of it. It's an absolute blowout against Draco. This kills a lot of rogue strategies. Yeah, if you can resolve this, it's basically game. Your opponent has no way to recover. So yeah, that's about it for the deck profile. And like I said, Draco and Goki is easily your hardest matchup. In my opinion, this deck is very good. It's one of the most versatile decks probably of all time. So yeah, have a good one.